What's up? What's up? What's up? Mic check. Am I being heard out there? Am I being heard out there? Because I'm looking and I don't see my... Let me see here. Because I'm looking. Okay. Double checked. All right, we're good. All right. Some reason my audio meter on my OBS was not fluctuating, so I don't know what that's about. I'll look into it later, but if y'all can hear me, that's all that matters. I hope you're having a good start to your holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So, big thanks to all those who have served our country, those who have who've died for the cause of this country and the beliefs behind it that we hold so dear. And the families who sent their family members to serve for us. So let's not forget, it's not just an extra day off. It's not just, hey, we can get together without masks and have some beers and chill out and have burgers and stuff. We have that privilege for the fine people who served our country. So to them, I salute them and thank them for that. And it is Friday. It is the start of a long weekend. I hope you guys have some plans, getting together with some people. Hopefully everybody out in the audience here has been vaccinated of some form. It's nice to see people getting back out there. Nice to see things are filling up. This past weekend, my last show, I came on late. For those who joined us last Friday at 10 o'clock, I was an hour late. My apologies. I was staying in Red Bank at my good friend, comedian Chris Covert's house and his lovely woman, Babette's. And we had a show that weekend, Saturday night, over there at the Red Bank Elks, packed to capacity. We had to bring in more tables. So thank you for those who came out to that live show with Chris Covert, Angel Salazar, Mr. Ken Krantz was part of the show as well. Very hilarious. Very hilarious. So that was a good night. It was some good fun. Got to work with Ernie O'Donnell this past weekend, working on his sitcom On Our Own. Hopefully we can get that out by the fall or the beginning of next year. Look forward to that. That was a lot of fun. We had some guest stars fly in. It was a lot of fun with that. So I'm glad to be here. I'm back home. But I will be joining friends at some point this weekend as well for, get together. Everybody's been vaccinated. It's awesome. So if you haven't been paying attention to my social media the past couple of days, earlier this afternoon, depending on what coast you're on, or part of the world. We are the internet. We do reach out to the entire world. I was part of the Zenoscope folks, good folks at Zenoscope. Myself, Marilyn Gigliotti, Crystal Star, and Sun Kunamaki. We hosted Watching Flash Gordon this week. And we had the good grace to have Mr. Sam J. Jones, none other than Mr. Flash Gordon himself. I've known Sam for many, many years now, doing a lot of conventions myself with him. He's a great guy. If you haven't been to a Comic-Con and met Sam Jones from Flash Gordon, sweetheart of a guy. So cool. So tonight we did our usual Zenoscope Movie Club, where we talk about an iconic movie from, we've been doing 80s, early 90s kind of stuff, and this week this month, because we do it, it's a monthly thing. This month it was Flash Gordon, and what a great movie in general. It's a movie that, you know, I've loved since I was a kid. I didn't see it when it first came out in theaters. I caught it when it hit VHS rental stores. Kids, if you don't know what that is, ask your grandparents what a VHS rental store was. Yes, it was before cell phones for the most part, and the internet. The internet was just a twinkle in Al Gore's in his twinkle in his eye back in that day. Actually, the internet was only for the military, I believe, at one point. So let me get to the crowd here. We got a good crowd tonight. Good to see you, Mr. Christopher Hewitt. Hasn't missed a show. Neither has Jen Girl 1975. Thank you for coming back. The owner of 3 Alarm Comics there in Biloxi, Mississippi, Mr. Scott Hoverman, is with us as well. Good to see you as well. Josh McManus, good to see you. What's up, sir? Indeed. Amy Tucci, good to see you as well. Thank you for joining us this Friday evening. I'm sorry I was late last weekend, but here I am on time today. Sir 316, good to see you. Sarah Jane as well. Danger Girl AC, good to see you. Coming all the way in from Jersey. Who else do we got here? We have Riff 303, good to see you as well. Andrew Davids, good to see you. Rome 77, CJ Robles, good to see you. What's up? What's up? What's up? You're catching on. You're catching on. Producer Mr. Ian Bonner, good to see you, sir. Jason Mack 08522, what's going on? Mr. Scott Meany, the great artist. Scott Meany is joining us as well. Mad Brothers Media, hola, sir. Good to see you as well. Shane Dolan, good to see you. Zentumum. Yes, Zentuman. Yo, what's up, yo? Jason Mack, I said your name, Mr. Bertrand Wong. Yo, what's up, sir? Joanna Sisto, hey, girl. Good to see you as well. Gotta love the VHS rental store adult film room. Yes. There was always that curtained off area or the saloon swinging doors back corner where I was told they had the adult movies. Just a guess. I've seen that in other movies. Yes, the room in the back corner there. Libby McDermott, good to see you as well. So if you didn't join us for the great show, by the way, if you get a chance, catch it, YouTube. You can catch it on their Facebook page. You could also catch it on their Twitch page, Zenoscope. We did the movie Flash Gordon. We had the great none other than Mr. Sam Jones with us, and like I said, he was one of my favorite people to know on the convention circuit. He's just a sweet guy. Stories out the wazoo. We talked a bunch of the stories on the Zenoscope broadcast. So if you get a chance after this show or sometime this week, and catch it. It was a good show. And of course, Zenoscope being a comic book publishing company and also just an entertainment company, they came out with an alternate cover, as they always do, of the Flash Gordon poster, a collectible item, indeed worth a purchase, if you ask me. So this movie, by the way, I have my poster, my 11 by 17 signed by Sam as well. He was like, I want an autographed photo of your stuff. And I was like, what? And so he was like, yeah, let's trade. So I got my there it is, Sam Jones. Here we go. Sam Jane Jones, Brian, big blessings, Flash Gordon. Now, the one thing, hands down, is definitely it's a Dino De Laurentiis film. And if you don't know who Dino De Laurentiis is, shame on you. Secondly, see them. The films themselves are incredible. I mean, he did Dune. He was part of funding the Conan Barbarian movies. If you go on his IMDb, Dino De Laurentiis, unfortunately, he has passed away at the ripe old age of 91, mind you, in 2010. But he funded so many movies that became iconic for many different ways. Not all of them were great, and not all of them were horrible. And he put out some really good ones. I mean, he was a part of the '77 King Kong movie with Jessica Lange. Like, just look at his filmography as a producer and director, and you can see. So it's a De Laurentiis film. So he's bringing the costumes and he's bringing the production, and in this case, the Flash was the sets, the costumes, and he brought in an international cast of people. Like, you had Topol, who was in there as Dr. Zarkov. You had, Ming the Merciless, played by none other than Max von Sydow, which, I mean, the relationship went so well, he brought him back to be a part of the Conan the Barbarian series. Timothy Dalton, hey, a future 007, two of them. Not the best 007s, but good ones. Of course, Melody Anderson, and then of course Ornella Muti, and the list goes on. And had a blast. Just had a blast watching it. Just brought back so many memories. My good friend Bertrand Wong, who I've had on the show a few times now, he's on the stream watching, and he'll tell you we would quote that movie all the time. There's a scene that we always do when Hawkman, the Hawkman attack, played by Brian Blessed, one of the most amazing character actors there ever was. Brian Blessed just rocks it. And his like, Hawkman, jive! Like, we quote those lines all the time. Just classic stuff, man. I mean, Timothy Dalton, I mean, look at this guy. If there was not, someone going like, I could see him as a Bond, there you go. There's the reason why he was Bond. In this movie, he was kind of the jilted lover kind of character in this one. And then, and then here it is. The man just owned it. Now, yes, Ming the Merciless probably today would be played by an actual Asian actor, as it should be. But to be honest with you, I can't knock the performance by Max von Sydow. Hired for the job, got the job, crushed it, absolutely crushed it. And then Clytus, his right hand man, brilliantly portrayed. And if you haven't seen the movie, you got to see the movie. It's awesome. And then there's the legendary Sky Cycle. Come on, man. Such a fun scene. They brought it back for I think it was a Geico commercial or something. The Super Bowl ad. Gotta love it. Got to love it. So I gotta say, man, this was something that that was a show that I was just so amped to be a part of today. Now, and I've had dinner with Sam before and just have casual conversation, breakfast in the hotel restaurant, the mornings of opening up a Comic-Con and stuff like that. And he's like me. He likes to get into the convention center early, set up his booth, and be there for that. When the very first fan is there, he's there to sign. And when they're telling people to get out of the convention hall that, at the end of the show day, he's there to sign the last person who needs it. He's like me. It's that kind of worth ethic that we love. Good to see you, Miss Eleanor White. Also, Dan Bishai, thank you for coming back, sir. Mr. Joe Ridgely, good to see you too. Yes. And of course, how can you not forget the Queen soundtrack? I mean, when you think of this movie, the first thing that comes to your mind is not a line from the movie. It's not like, this scene from the movie. It's not, this amazing stunt from the movie. It's Flash from Queen. That's it. And then, of course, the wedding march played on the guitar, when the wedding to Ming the Merciless is going on in Dale. I'm sure somebody had their actual wedding march use that Queen rendition of the wedding march, guitar solo kind of thing. So you gotta love the music that they used for it, and the fact that they scored Queen. Holy crap, that's awesome. And apparently, I haven't seen it myself, but the documentary called After Flash is supposed to be super outstanding. It's going to be putting on to my queue soon enough. And they have Brian May talk about what he thought about, this song being such an iconic song and made, this film that much more memorable. And he was like, yeah, we felt when we were doing it that this was the beginning of rock operas on film and stuff like that. Although, don't say that too close to the Rocky Horror fans, because we're like, we were the first. I took a jump to the left and then a step to the right. Anyway, little joke. What else? Who else do we got here? Deep Roy, that's right. As Mr. Scott Haverman points out, our pal Deep Roy was Princess Aurora's pet. Yes. And also Kenny Baker. There's the jail scene. And Kenny Baker is the little person in the jail. So we had R2-D2 in the jail. And you had, it was weird. You had R2-D2. You had actually, what's his name from Rocky Horror himself was one of the men of the Baron's men. There's quite a few amazing actors part of this film that put this thing all into a memorable thing. And they made some pretty good points, like the set from the forest planet, so to speak, the swamp planet that Timothy Dalton was about. I forget the name offhand. We were saying that, hey, was that used in Return of the Jedi? Because it totally looks like, Dagobah, like the swampy kind of thing. And as I looked closer to it, and as Crystal Starr, one of the people on the panel, had pointed out, I'm like, wow, you know what? She's right, because I kind of thought about it too when watching it again. I watched it again last night so that it would be fresh in my mind for today's show. And I don't own it, so I you can rent it for like $4 on Amazon. So that's what I did. And I had to say, they did an amazing job with the sets, which for the most part, almost all of the Dino De Laurentiis movies, when it comes to set design and costumes, is always like right up there, up over the top, awesome. And as cheesy as some of the dialogue may be, and as cheesy as some of the storytelling is, the look of it is always, it's a Dino De Laurentiis type of look. And but the sets were like, I think that looks like that could be, Endor. Like when they were walking from tree to tree, I was like, that looks like Endor, or someone needs to pay Dino for his design outfit, because it was like Lucas went, that looks like the forest moon of Endor. I think I'm going to use that set. And apparently they shot on a soundstage in England that wasn't far from where the soundstage was where they were shooting the new Star Wars movie in Jedi eventually. Sarah Jane, it's been a while since I saw our Flash Gordon, but I definitely have the theme in my head now. Yes, everybody, you always have it in your head when you hear about it. You met Sam in 2019 in San Antonio. He was a blast. Such energy, great time. He's super strong. Yeah, dude. That man is fit, and he doesn't change his morning exercise routine. He just, does it. Yes, Richard O'Brien. That's right. Richard O'Brien from Rocky Horror. Yes, he's in it as well. And very jealous of the signed poster. Yes. But you know what? Like I said, he gets around. And actually on the show, Joe, Sam is talking about he has future appearances at a couple of comic book shops in the Florida area. So check out his social media, which I think it's the Sam J. Jones on Instagram. And I think it's the same for Twitter as well. And then the real Sam J. Jones on Facebook. So if you want to find out where he's at, that's the place to check it out. I will have him on the show here because he's like, when am I going to be on your show, Brian? So we are in talks of having him on the show. I know he was on your show, Joe, not that long ago, and as you know, he's a great guest. What's my favorite scene from Flash Gordon? There's quite a few, but I gotta say, when they finally get to Clytus and Clytus is taken care of, I'm just gonna quickly put that over. There's that scene, and that's all I'm gonna show. That I would say that's when I'm just laughing, and in such a way that you're just like, bah! But the Hawk attack on Ming's palace has to be like a great scene. Like the last half hour of the entire movie, for the most part, is the attack on Ming while he's getting married. Spoiler alert. So I loved that scene in the movie. A couple of the other people on the panel talked about the football scene in the very beginning is kind of funny. The beginning with Dr. Zarkov and his assistant Munson, where he's like, "You're getting in the rocket with me. I knew this was going to happen." I'm like, yo, what's up, Zarkov? What are you doing? Where he's literally forcing his fellow scientists like to get into the rocket. And Munson's like, "I'm not having it. I'm out." And then the plane that Flash and Dale are flying or riding in, shall I say, during this big storm, the hot hail that Ming sends to the Earth or torments the Earth with, sends Flash's plane crashing into the lab of Dr. Zarkov. And then him going, "Oh, you want to use my phone? Yeah, it's in this rocket-looking thing. Come on in." It's kind of campy. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of campy. But, it was made in the 70s. It was a science fiction movie made in the 70s. And that movie compared to the 1930s Flash Gordon, like 30s Flash Gordon, like most things in the 30s, 40s, early 50s especially, was very melodramatic, heavy on the melodramatic, like extra 2 bottles of melodramatic sauce. So when you got to the 70s scene, the 70s doing science fiction, you could have epic things like, Space Odyssey 2010, you could do Logan's Run, that type of thing. But then this is Dino De Laurentiis, so it's a little bit more, more emphasis on the camp. So no melodramatic sauce, but let's do a sprinkle of camp spices. So the campiness takes over. But there's always the very beginning, and I just got to point this out because it's hilarious. So they're scanning, I guess, solar systems for Ming the Merciless to torment. And his assistant Clytus is like, "Listen, we found this one. They call it Earth." Like it's difficulty, like not knowing what the word is, right? But then when Ming picks out of a array of buttons of what this ray beam can do, like one's is like tidal wave and one is like, hey, but one says earthquake. What? How would you know to make that button say earthquake if there was no such place called Earth? So I thought that was kind of funny. Like no one had a nerd on set to go like, "Well, why would you have the button say Earth if you don't know what the word Earth means?" I can understand if it was like seismic activity or, world breaker beam. But you actually had a guy make a button that said earthquake. Come on, people. Come on, Dino De Laurentiis. You let that get by? Anyway. Italians, what are we going to do? I kid you, Italians. I kid. I'm an Irish guy. We're just stupid and drinkers and stuff like that or something. I don't know. Anyway. So that part of the movie, hilarious. Dr. Zarkov forcing his assistant or tries to force his assistant into the rocket, hilarious. They get into the rocket. So then Flash and Dale are convinced that, hey, the phone booth's in this little phone booth rocket looking thing. They get in, and that's when Zarkov has a wrestling match with football quarterback star for the New York Jets, might I add, Flash Gordon. And in this tussle, Dr. Zarkov's head hits the launch button, because we all know, in the perfect way of making rocket ships, the largest button you want to make in a rocket ship is the one that says launch. Of course. And I make fun of it because I love it. Because it's part of the whole camp. You have to love it. You got to love it. I like that. Quake Maker. Although that sounds like a rap song from the 90s, like Rump Shaker. All I want to do is the boom, 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 and the zoom, zoom. Just quake your maker, or make your Quaker. I don't know. I like the idea though, Andre. I like where you're going with that. Scott Meany loves me some Buster Crab. That's right. And we're not talking about a seafood joint. We're talking about the original Flash Gordon, who was also the original Buck Rogers, who was also the original one of, I think, 17 Tarzans. Like, Buster Crab was like the superhero everyman for his day back in the 30s. If they were like, we need a superhero kind of strong man, Buster Crab would be the one there. It's almost like as much as how why am I losing my train of thought? The guy who played Doctor Strange, Cumberbatch. It's like how Cumberbatch gets into almost every single thing is how Buster Crab was. So, hosted a panel with Sam. He almost was Seahawk. Oh, I did not know that. That did not come up in our talk with him. I know that when we talked to Sam tonight, it was down to him and who was the other two? It was him. Was it Schwarzenegger and Kurt Russell, who would have been Flash Gordon? And it was like 30 days of back and forth going in for screen testing, he said. So who would have thought that Kurt Russell, I think Kurt Russell, I don't know, Kurt Russell would have, didn't have that much of an innocence to him, that I think Sam brought this kind of innocent, kind of just a guy caught in a situation and making the best of it kind of character, while Kurt Russell would be, you could see that Kurt Russell could totally get himself out of this. He's got those kind of brains and stuff. So we'll see that. Planet Quake. All right. Sounds like a kid's kind of pizzeria fun time place. Hey kids, you want to have your birthday party down at Planet Quake? You want to get things shaken up? Come down to Planet Quake. Here we go. Imbalance of the tectonic equivalents. I like your scientific mind, Eleanor. I like how it was. Kurt Russell on Flash Gordon. I would have watched it. All right. But like I said, it would have been a different kind of thing. Scott says perfect casting. I think so too. I think everybody who was who they were was perfect casting. So, swimming, right? Right. Here we go. The computer wore tennis shoes versus Ming. Okay. All right. Chuck E. Cheese, where it's at in the 80s and 90s. It was also where you could catch mono or any other communicable diseases that young kids and teens would catch for the 80s and 90s. Today, kids catch all sorts of crazy things. Am I right? That's a TV show, right? Kids catch the darndest things. Isn't that on TV right now? I'd watch that show, actually. Kids catch the darndest things. What did you catch, Billy? I caught syphilis. What? You're horrible, Brian. Why are you saying such horrible things about children? Because I'm an adult and we're all adults in this room, for what I can understand via the chat names. I have no idea. but consider yourselves warned. If you're highly offended, but you're still a fan of what I do for a living, that's kind of an oxymoron, because what I do for a living offends quite a few people, including my mother. She's offended that I do the things I do for my living. Why couldn't you just do a regular job? Biggest heartbreak. I worked for a supermarket chain for quite a few years, moved up into management of said supermarket chain. When I left said supermarket chain to go into to do acting like as a full-time gig, she was so upset. She was like, Brian, why would you leave a grocery store? Oh, you'll have a job for life. For life. Because I was making a good, I was making a good chunk of change for someone in their early 20s with regular benefits, the whole nine. But it was it just didn't happen. Just didn't work out. And so funny because, if there was some job that the pandemic proved y'all need all the time, it was grocery store working. And, I hope they got their overtime for those who work in grocery stores or anybody who does retail like that you were considered an essential worker. First of all, thank you for going into work. I'm sure there are many days that you were like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I should be home, isolating, and just watching the news like everybody else. But you went in, you did your jobs, you stocked the shelves, you dealt with every backward ass fuck on the planet who wanted like 20 giant bins of toilet paper and who took every bit of chicken cutlets that there were and just coming out with carts of all sorts of craziness. I remember when working for the supermarket chain, when blizzards would happen here up in the Northeast. Oh, you thought it was the end of the world. Like anything and everything you wanted to get rid of. Like I worked mostly like the seafood department, the meat department, deli, that type of thing early on. And then I went into management and I just dealt with the whole store. But in the beginning, whatever you wanted to get rid of and you knew snow was coming that weekend, you packaged it up and you put it out in the cases because you knew I could have just put just bags of just marshmallows and put some seafood sauce on marshmallows, wrapped it in that clear cellophane and put it on a styrofoam tray and put it in the case and just sit there and call it oysters. Oh, those are oysters. And people would have bought it. That's how crazy people get here in the Northeast when there's like a blizzard coming. They just think, oh, there'll never be a supermarket again. I have to have every bit of food there ever was. Or as in Florida, like Joe Ridgely says, when it comes to hurricane season, yeah, just people get nuts. Nuts. So what do we have? Another story here. Did bagging at a grocery store in high school, had a film set caterer truck every month come by, loaded 50 carts of food into the truck. Yeah. Well, it's a necessary job, and I thank the people who do it. I was just at my grocery store today, stocking up for this weekend. I got in there early too. I got in there like around the 1:30 hour because I live up in the Pocono Mountain area, and so it's like it's a resort area. So people are going to want to come up here for the weekend to their summer homes or their campsites and stuff like that. And if you don't get to the grocery stores early enough, it can get, if you're looking for marshmallows for s'mores, or if you're looking for, burgers and buns and stuff. So got in there, bought what I needed. Going to see some friends this weekend, hopefully. And we'll go from there. Whew. Take the meat. Yes. Take the meat indeed. You're going to a casino resort in the Poconos for your honeymoon in November. Oh, well, congratulations, beers. Unless you're you're a beers. Enjoy. We have some really good resorts up there. Great Wolf Lodge. Very nice place up there. Yes, non-perishable food items. Beer. Non-perishable food items. Unless you get it skunked, like cold to hot to hot to cold. Skunking a beer is an awful sin. A terrible thing to do. Are you learning your lines for Clerks 3? Is this Kevin? Is this a secret account by Kevin? Are you checking up on me? Yes. Yes, I'm learning my lines for Clerks 3. It's just one line over and over again. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Cut. All right. Next scene. Dante, what about this? I don't know. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Cut. That's all we're doing. It's just rehashing the catchphrases. Randall just goes, this job would be great if it wasn't for the customers. What else we're going to have people say? What do you mean I got to drink this coffee hot? I don't know. You guys know the lines. You say them. No. Yes. It's going to be fun. I have a whole month now. After this holiday, that's it. It's just going to be me and the script. And what I like to do, my technique of learning my lines is I do exactly this. I record them and I listen to them over and over and over and over again. And I find that to be my best way of learning my lines. Besides, like if I'm doing a play where you're with people, you know, obviously muscle memory is incredibly important to know, all right, go over here and you know, it's that type of motion that'll help you remember things like, oh, I remember that I'd be over here by the time I say such and such a line, or oh, I'll be over here by the time I say this line. So it's always good to find that out, doing it and rehearsing it again and again. Spoilers? No, Scott, there is no spoilers. Spoiler. Here's a spoiler. We're doing the film. Some people might find that a spoiler. So as for now, any plans to go to Rhode Island Comic-Con in November? We are in discussions. Rhode Island Comic-Con, one of my favorite Comic-Cons out there. I'm glad that we're going to be going physically back to cons. Don't get me wrong. I've been able to master the internet and the multi lights and cameras and sets and microphone and, you know, soundboard and having it stream out to the world. But I'm so glad now that I'm going to be coming back into the real world. So we've already announced the same great company, Altered Reality Entertainment, are the same folks who are doing Colorado Springs Comic-Con. So we already have me and Jeff Anderson booked for that. So if you're in the Colorado Springs area or you're in a good flight to Colorado Springs, great part of the world, by the way, great part of the country. Pikes Peak is not far from there. You have the Gardens of the Gods, another great park that's in that part of Colorado. So we'll be there in August. So literally fresh off of filming Clerks 3, you'll get the freshest of stories if you see us at Colorado Springs Comic-Con. And I believe we might be going to Rhode Island this year. We're still working out our schedules and stuff. But me and Jeff were going to be doing a grand tour of Comic-Cons in the beginning of 2020 when COVID hit and all that had to be shut down. So hopefully we can get back to the ones that we had signed up for 2020. We'll re-sign us up again for some of them have pushed it all the way to 2022 just because of logistics. So hopefully we can do that again. Will there be a donkey show? No, of course not, sir. We're just going to reenact the movie Human Centipede. Just going to cut the middleman right out as a little homage. Good evening to you, CF Wolfman. Good to see you as well. Treymock, good to see you as well. How about Astronomicon and Whorehound? I think Astronomicon is filling up right now. I don't know if they've reached out to our people. I know I was there for the very first one and the third one. I know Ming does it every year, Ming Chen, and that's because he has family in Michigan. So it's literally like a family trip. As far as Whorehound, I know we had a contract with them for 2020 as well. I don't know if they're pushing us to a new date or new city. We shall see. Bunch of savages in this town. There you go. See? One of the other lines that we'll just say forever and ever. Yes, I miss conventions too. They're coming back though. As a matter of fact, there's the camp down in Atlanta, which is a con that's kind of based on the Walking Dead franchise. So if you're in the Atlanta area, look for the camp. I know a couple of folks from The Walking Dead are going to be there. Chiller Theater in October. I haven't done, the last time I did Chiller Theater, Darren, was literally the weekend of Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy was coming up the coast. This was around, Halloween time, October. And that show is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as we all know. Great show up in Parsippany, New Jersey. Big autograph show, especially for hard to get kind of actors and filmmakers and stuff. Heavy TV presence when it comes like old time TV kind of actors and actresses and stuff. Really, really good guys up there. And so this was, the storm was coming, the hurricane was coming, and it was looking, this was the first time we had heard the term of superstorm and, just craziness. And so the show was like, look, we're shutting the show down on Sunday, because that's when it was coming, Sunday night into Monday. We're shutting the show down at like 1:00. Like everybody's like, there'll be early sessions. I think it was 9 a.m. The doors open, and 1:00. It was normally shuts the doors around 5:00. But they're like 1:00. That's it. And it made sense anyway, because I was living in Staten Island, New York at the time that year. And they were shutting down, New York City was shutting down all the bridges. So the Washington, the George Washington Bridge, the Verrazano Bridge, the Goethals, all those bridges were being closed. And so I was like, I got to get out of here. So I got on, it's right off of Route 287, which leads into 440, which goes over the bridge, and we're right back into Staten Island. And so got out of there. So then Sandy hits. There were some people who were stuck in that hotel that lost power, and then they couldn't stay there anymore. And so they had to evacuate to other hotels that had power. I remember Jeremy London got stuck in the Marriott that's in the middle of Newark Airport. If anybody ever has been to Newark Airport and sees that hotel that's right in the middle of all the terminals, the Marriott, he was stuck there. And there were no flights out for days after Sandy. And, I couldn't get into Jersey because the bridges and tunnels were closed and things were flooded and stuff like that. So I would like to go back to Chiller. So that was the last time, which was what, 2011? I think it was, Sandy. I could be wrong. So I'm overdue for a Chiller visit. Had a lot of great times there. Elvira, I met Elvira there. Like, you really meet some really cool people at that one. One year I had a booth, and it was Eric Estrada was my neighbor. Just fun stuff. So if you ever get a chance to go see Chiller, please do. Will Dante and Randall discuss Star Wars Rey trilogy? That's a good topic. I don't know. We shall see. It'd be interesting to see what they would think. Well, Dante's the trilogy. You said that already? Have an Uncle Louie in Parsippany. Where was this? Uncle Louie. Uncle Louie. I got an Uncle Louie in Parsippany. Sounds like a threat. Hey, don't you make me call that Uncle Louie in Parsippany. You know what happens when I call Uncle Louie in Parsippany? Bada bing, bada boom, you're dead. That's all I got to say. Why am I doing this with my hands? I have no idea. Anyway. What was that? My town had no traffic lights for 3 or 4 days. To be honest with you, who pays attention to traffic lights anymore? We only had 8 lights. It's like saying, hey, get out of this one-horse town. And we only had 1 horse. Karate Kid. All right. Karate Kid was at Chiller, I guess. That's where that was at. I thought Randall's telling of the Lord of the Rings trilogy was spot on. Well, there you go. See, that's what Kevin does. He gets things that people get people thinking and agreeing. Will Donta get married in Clerks 3? I don't know. We'll see. See how it is. Good old Metuchen. Oh, I know Metuchen well. A friend of mine teaches not far from there at the Catholic school. So, here it is. Here in the Northeast, we're going to have a rain out for most of. Well, it's raining now. Most of today and tomorrow is going to be rain. I know the Chicago area and the upper Midwest got some rain today. I'm hoping that it clears up enough at least for at least one day to be a good day to celebrate. Been watching the hockey playoffs, if anybody's hockey fans out there. So the Islanders pulled it off. Tampa Bay pulled it off again. I thought for certain Florida was going to give them a hard time. I thought for certain Toronto was going to finish off Montreal, but looks like that's going to a game 7. And now Vegas and Minnesota are having their game right now. I'd like to see Minnesota go. I mean, Vegas, they've done it. They've gone far with it. I think it's nice to see maybe Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota, the state Minnesota itself, it's like the most hockey state in the United States. So, you know, and I remember the days when it was the Minnesota North Stars. I would like to see Minnesota do well in that series. I hope they can come back and tie up the series and then, you know, get a game 7 themselves. And then out west, you got, you know, Colorado, who just, oh my God, absolutely crushed. And then Winnipeg, and we'll see where we go from there. It's gonna be an interesting. I got to tell you one thing: the lineups, the matchups of all the teams for the playoffs, it kind of worked out. So many games went into overtime. Like, you had bonus hockey all series long with these games. There were not any games that were like, oh my God, complete blowouts. I mean, there were series that were like, what happened to them? Like the Boston and the Capital series, like they just got hung out to dry. And yet those games were all, for the most part, won by 1 goal. So it'll be interesting to see how it is. What do we have here? Joe says Islanders are like the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. Okay. I can see where you're saying that. Didn't the North Stars move to Hartford? I think they turned into Dallas because then the Dallas Stars. I think that's, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It has been a great playoff season. It has. Hey, Jennifer Laybourne. Thanks for joining the show. Taking the time out of your weekend. Gem Girl says, you're getting the rain, and we had it here in Michigan this morning. It'll be nicer when it's all over. Yes. That's what I'm hoping. Are the mask mandates lifted in the area? New Jersey has lifted the mandates. I think Sunday here in Pennsylvania, they're being lifted. I know when I went to the supermarket, you didn't have to have it at the supermarket. I did anyway, just to be polite. But they're being lifted pretty much everywhere now. And to be honest with you, the reason to wear a mask now is if you haven't been vaccinated. And I know there's a lot of information out there that's like, oh, like I was checking my Facebook messages on one of the accounts, and some dude went on this big rant. They saw the photo of me getting my J&J shot. Now it's 7 weeks ago, and it like this huge rant about you're a fool and a pawn, and don't you know this is going to be this, and then there's going to be the great death, millions of deaths from everybody who had the vaccine and blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay. And hey, that's your belief. But I think the vaccines are a good thing, and I think the vaccines are a necessary thing. And I don't know, math doesn't lie. The infection rates are down, the deaths are down, and the hospitalizations are down. And Now it's time to help out the rest of the world with sending vaccines to them. Anyway, enough about that. But yes, are they being lifted in New York? New York, they are lifted. Yes, that is true. Getting your shot next Friday. Totally stoked. Cannot wait. That's good. It's a good attitude, Chris. Good to hear that. I don't know. I'm enjoying my superhero power. Yes. Don't tell everybody, Jem, that we get superhero powers with the vaccine. It's called an immune system. That's right. You get a superpower called an immunity to the disease. Doesn't that sound cool? Or think of it in legal terms. You're immune from being prosecuted with COVID. I don't know. I'm just riffing. Just riffing. Got my cootie shot last Sunday. The nanonites finally settled in, and now you feel great, right? Isn't this version of the Matrix that much better? That last version, oh my God. That last version of the Matrix just sucked. And then you saw a cat, and then you saw a cat again, and you're like, that's deja vu. And it's like, no, that's when something's been added to the Matrix. By the way, great movie. I love the Matrix. I love the Wachowski. Talk about a moment in film where your mind was just like, the Wachowski brothers, man. I should find a guest who was part of the Matrix movies, because anytime I see them on like TNT or BBC or, just rerunning, I'll just stop and I'll just have to watch, the movies and the certain scenes. And it's just an incredible concept that I enjoyed. There are some issues with some of the sequels. I look forward to these upcoming movies. It should be awesome. First movie I was blown away in a theater, right? It was definitely something I was just like, wow. And you wanted to see it again. Yeah, I'm interested too where they're going to do this fourth one. It's going to be like they've set their own bar so high now as to how you can wow an audience today, that I gotta say, man, it's going to be something. And I trust the Wachowski brothers. I think could you imagine if the Wachowski brothers and the Russo brothers got together? You want to talk about a mega universe? That would be like, literally be like, be opening up your minds to what the hell am I watching? A Wachowski brother written movie directed by the Russo brothers. And let's just put in the Coen brothers for the comedy element. Talk about a mega mashup of talent. And call the company Brothers Inc. or something. 6 brothers come together to put out the ultimate science fiction comedy. No, I haven't seen it yet. I definitely want to see Army of the Dead. Yeah, there you go. Matrix Endgame. Then Neo dies. Or does he? Or does this just he dies in this version of the Matrix? I don't know. Weird. Because you kind of left the last film as to, I don't know. It's so meta. It's like Inception kind of Matrix, kind of Doctor Strange, kind of. Looking forward to a bunch of those things. Looking forward to Loki. Looking forward to so many good Marvel stuff coming out. And so, yeah, Army of the Dead, got to watch it, because if I run into Batista and he asks, have I seen it? And I go, no, he will snap me in two, because we have the same agent and he goes to some of the same conventions I do. And I don't want to be like, hey, man, loved you. And yeah, I didn't see it yet. It's weird. Movies that I would normally like, I don't know if I want to watch it. FYI, the Wachowski are sisters now. LOL. What? Stop it. Greatest movie ever. Are you talking about your movie, Mr. Stephen Mena, Mr. Brutal Massacre writer director? Shameless plug. That's right. For those who haven't seen a movie I was a part of called Brutal Massacre, a comedy. That man right there. Where am I? Right there. Wrote and directed it. He's hilarious in it. Can't wait to work with you again, sir. It'd be cool if Neo and Trinity had a kid who winds up bringing on the end of the world again, starting it all over again. I don't know if they want to do that. I don't know if that's... It'd be interesting if you added a third element. Like, okay, if the Matrix takes place on Earth, right? When we created the machines. By the way, if anybody's ever had a chance to watch the Animatrix, it's an animated series of short stories based on the Matrix world. And in the Animatrix, one of the short stories is the origins of how the animated origins of how the Matrix world came to being. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance, see it on DVD. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming networks, but it's called the Animatrix. Awesome series of shorts, worth watching, especially if you want to learn the origins of it. So anyway, humans make machines, AI becomes self-aware, humans become dependent on machines, machines become dependent on humans, and so forth. So what if, the only thing I can see with this is going is what if now this Matrix world is visited by other beings from another planet? So now you have the Matrix machine world, and the humans would have to come together to fight an off-world threat, so to speak, like Ming the Merciless. No, good tie in there. That's the only way I could see this going another direction. I don't know if, there's a Matrix comic or something that's already explained all this or where they're going with it, but it'd be interesting. Yes, see? The Mac Geek knows. It was awesome. Thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier series? I thought it was good. I mean, everybody hated Kurt Russell's kid, Wyatt, in this. Like, if the goal was to make him a dick, mission accomplished, because dude plays him like a dick. Seriously, you just saw him as like a replacement for Rogers, and you're like, that guy's a dick. So that part of it was like, okay. I liked the World Smashers organization, the level of political strife of people after the blip coming back 5 years later after the blip. I don't know why they called it the blip instead of calling it what it was, which was the snap. Like, did they keep that a secret? Like, shh, the reason you guys all left was because this mega Titan character had this mega gauntlet of God power and snapped it. Like, why don't you just call it the snap? Why you keep calling it the blip? The blip makes it sound like your internet went down. Oh, God damn it. Can't finish Call of Duty because of this stupid blip. Like, yo, it's the snap. And snapped it back. Weren't people wondering why Tony Stark died? Because he did the snap to bring your asses back. And it couldn't handle it. It overwhelmed his tiny little electric heart. And he died. Poor Tony Stark. Anyway, for those who want to see the movie, go to StephenMena.com for the great movie, Brutal Massacre, a comedy, and also his horror trilogy, Malevolence 2, and Killer, Malevolence 3, which I was one of the producers of. So by all means, StephenMena.com, get your copy. I think you'll even get it signed. What if Skynet is responsible for now? See, now that's now you've added an extra layer. It's like a burger that had 3 burgers on it. Now you've added a 4th patty on this burger, Joe Ridgely. if Skynet was responsible for the Matrix, so now the machines hire the Terminator instead of the flying squidlies. Oh my God. Let's see. How many other things? And then how many other? And then they go to recall. The humans go to recall. Oh, that'd be funny. That's literally like, let's take a science fiction franchise, put it on a dice, and then just play Yahtzee dice, or the magnet poetry where it's just random sci-fi movie titles, and put them together to make In a World Where Total Recall meets the Terminator meets the Matrix meets the meats. Sponsored by Arby's. We have the meats. Steven Mena, $14.99 for real? Wow. So Brian O'Halloran, how do you get to sign it as well? I don't know, Mark. He sends it to me. Steven sends it to me. Then I sign it. And there's got a postage sticker in that, prepaid postage sticker in that. And then I drop it in the mailbox. Because I sign anything that comes from Steven, I just sign anyway. So he's such a good guy. And the three-breasted Martian marries Neo. Ooh, I like where you're going with this, Gem Girl 1975. Forgot about the three-breasted girl. Although any dude would be like, dude, how would you forget a three-breasted girl? It can happen. It was the 80s. And they all wake up in the Thunderdome. My God. This shit writes itself. Meets alien. Someone mentions a three-breasted girl, and the other guy's, well, thanks. Now I'm hungry. I hope that had to do with the extra patty comment and not the three-breasted girl. Just saying. Space Jam 2 looks awesome. I guess. Meets Clerks. That would be hilarious. Anything science fiction-y ever would happen to the Clerks. Anybody who's seen the Clerks animated series, one of the beginnings of the episode, Dante is Neo in the joke, and he's coming out of the pod where he's being milked for his electric juices, and gets dropped into the store. And Morpheus keeps calling the store going, Dante, I need to tell you about the Matrix. Classic scene. Bear driving car? How can that be? They could all fight Cobra Kai because Terry Silver's come back. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, I can just keep reading these comments and just like, yes, why not? Clerks meets Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Then they go to meet Wayne and Garth, and then they meet all the great duos. If there was a move, like how we talked about all the three sets of brother directors, if we had all the great duo movies like Thelma and Louise and Bill and Ted and Cheech and Chong and, you know, Jay and Silent Bob, and crazy where you can go with that. And everyone goes to White Castle. The end. Oh, trust me. Once you get to White Castle, that is totally the end of your night. It also may be the end of your gastrointestinal system for a couple of days, because everybody knows if you're winding up at White Castle, it is totally the fucking end of the night for you, for your underwear, for your sheets. It's a good meal to have in the winter if you don't have heat in the house, because you'll be Dutch ovening that bed for the rest of your night. For those watching from not in the East Coast area, White Castle are sliders. original sliders. Some places called it White Crystal. Crystal burgers down south are the same kind of concept. So sliders are the way. And so it's funny because White Castle, their motto was buy them by the sack, because you would buy 10 or, amongst two people type of thing, that type of thing. See how quickly I said amongst two people? Yeah. Anyway, and so they were incredibly salty, oniony. I think their ratio of meat is it's like beef with a majority of pork in it. It's like beef and pork, mostly pork. I believe. Don't be coming at me with the actual recipe. But they were steam cooked on a grill, with cheese and pickles and so good. But it was best having when you were done clubbing or done at a bar, and it's 1 a.m, 2 a.m, whatever. And it was like a 24-hour operation, by the way, here up in the Northeast. And so you'd always just, if you were in there at 1, 2 a.m, you would just be seeing just hungry zombie drunk people who are just wanting their White Castles. Because sometimes if you were too rowdy drunk or just didn't want to be seen in public to go to in here, and what you would do in Jersey is go to a diner and order your disco fries and burgers and chicken fingers or whatever have you. There it was just yo, get the burgers, get back to your wherever you were smoking weed or doing whatever, and give it about a good half hour, 40 minutes, and let the fireworks begin. Because oh my God, some people's intestinal systems could handle it, and some people's stomachs could not. And God help you if one of your friends especially if it's on top of bottle after pint after pint after pint of beer, and let's say earlier in the day you had Chinese food or something. And, I mean, it literally was atomic fuel on top of a tire fire, on top of toxic waste. Because there have been times after having White Castle and being with friends, and someone is just not doing well with it, and you're just you're taking them home or something, and you get caught in a car with these people. Oh my God. Oh, just forget it. Nightmare. Scott Meany had the perfect term, castle ass. Yes, crave case. That's right. That's a crave case. In 24 hours, access to White Castle via Uber Eats, RIP : You're absolutely right, Trey Mock. Make sure you're by yourself. Liquid onion is not good. So is liquid cheese. For those who in the Philly area who do that Cheese Whiz cheese for their cheesesteaks, first of all, what is wrong with you? It's provolone. Cheese Whiz is not a cheese. It's a caulking that apparently is edible. Explosive combustion. Yeah, that's right. Here you go. Asplosion. Ding, ding, ding. That wins that one. Asplosion wins. Oh, no is right. Cheapest colon cleanser, White Castle. That is true. Good way to clean you out. Last time I went to White Castle, Joe Ridgely says, on Long Island, 20-something years ago, we ordered drive-through. Food came through what looked like a drive-through bank tube. Yeah, pretty much. South Park fans, Chipotle away. That's right. Movies, White Castle. Movies is greater than White Castle. So you have the greater than sign is definitely correct. It is nowhere near. I mean, I've had it in Red Bank and I had it in Orlando. And the movies food is quite good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not shilling it because I'm good friends with the guy who it is. Flute doesn't really like the whiz. See? Thank you, Joanna. And you would know. You're in the Philly area. Provolone or American cheese. No green peppers. What the fuck? Yes. Although I do like mine with onions and mushrooms. I like mushrooms in mine for some reason. So a good cheesesteak with provolone, onions, mushrooms, splash of ketchup. We're good to go. But once again, that's another perfect late night drunk off your ass kind of thing. You're going to either hit, if you're going to be in the fight, the epic battle of Geno's or Pat's, go to one of those and then make your way home eventually. Swiss cheesesteak, yeah, that's not bad. I like that every once in a while. You're bummed you missed the Austin movies pop up. All right. Well, there is rumors that Philly might be down in the downcoming a location in the near future. Speaking of Philly cheesesteaks, or am I at Geno's or Pat's? I've had both, and it's been quite a while, and I can't remember which. The one that has all the famous photos on it is the one I don't think. I think I prefer the other one that doesn't have all the famous photos. But it's been a while. Like we're talking a good 10 years since I've had either one. And I think I did both of them on the same weekend. I was down there for a weekend. I think it was like the Philadelphia tattoo show or something. And I tried one night and one the other night just to have the test. White Castle knocks out Tiny Trolls, that's for sure. Yes, they do have the chicken rings. That's right. All right, there you go, folks. Sarah Jane has given you her opinion. Vincent's in West Philly for the win. Someone says, no Gino Pats, but I know Gino. All right. You don't have to, go to someone's place just because you know them. What's favorite beer games? Drinking games on movies is funny. Like, God help you if you do a Schwarzenegger movie and drink for every kill he gets. That's the deadly game. I did a reading of the horror movie Leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day this year. It was a Zoom meeting for the site Scripts Gone Wild, and they have a drinking game for their Scripts Gone Wild, and they pick a word that if you say the word, you drink. And these fuckers picked the word gold as the drink word. Oh my God. And I was drinking, it was St. Patrick's Day. So I had Guinness, St. Patrick's Day. It's required. And there's always one phrase that when the phrase is said, you drink whatever's been put, wherever your drink is at, you finish the whole thing. And I just filled up an entire Guinness in a pint glass. And they were like, they said the phrase. And I was like, I ain't fucking downing a Guinness. A Guinness is not a chug, chug, chug drink. It is not. It's not made that way. So when it comes to favorite drinking games, I like those type of things where you have some sort of bet of something while you're watching a movie or something like that. Otherwise, like beer pong, yeah. I mean, I did it. I lived at the age of 24 at one time. We all do the stupid drinking games. They're not stupid. They're just, you have a mission. The mission is to get someone drunk and laugh at them and draw mustaches on their faces or penises on their foreheads or eyebrows where they don't have them or stick their hand in water and make them pee themselves, things like that. So you never know. This is your lunch drink. Yeah. Guinness is a lunch drink. Irish car bomb is chugging and drinking, I think. Yes, but an Irish car bomb is not a full pint. It's usually a half pint, or it's, and the beer, and then it's dropped in and then you chase it down. It's not a full pint. You can't. And if you're making Irish car bombs with full pints, you're totally wasting the pint. That's just my humbled Irish opinion about that. I also find it highly offensive to call it an Irish car bomb. Terrible. Those are the troubles. We don't speak of the troubles anymore. Although things are getting spicy back up in Northern Ireland again. It's getting crazy. with the Brexit not working out. Have you ever noticed that horror films in the 80s and the first film in the franchise was more serious and gory than the sequels seemed to become lighter and more comedic? That's not nice to talk about the Halloween franchise like that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I guess. They try to recapture what the first one is, but they know they can't get as dark as the first one is for some reason, and so they do other things. Your voice makes everything sound appealing. Ah, isn't that lovely? That's the last thing you want to have is me to tell you, I'm so sorry. It's terminal. What you have is terminal. I wish it wasn't, but it's terminal. Yeah. See, it just sounds like you're always after me, Lucky Charms, when I say it like that. Oh, you're always after me, Lucky Charms. Have you ever watched Letterkenny? Yes, I did. Hilarious. Gotta love the good boys up in the north. Watched a couple of those episodes. Just hilarious. Speaking of 80s horror, I can't wait for the Hellraiser series. Is there? Are any of the originals involved in the new Hellraiser? Is Doug Bradley being called back? Because that motherfucker, he could easily play that role again. Big shout out to Doug. I'm not up on the horror scene as much as people think. Can I do a Mrs. Doubtfire? Oh, lovely. Mrs. Doubtfire was, whenever I saw that movie, first of all, I miss Robin Williams. I'm not going to lie. He was a brilliant genius of a man. And I wish there were people there who could have helped him not get into the funk that he did, first off. But every time I see that movie, he sounds like an aunt of mine, my father's eldest sister. God rest her soul. She's gone as well. And Mrs. Doubtfire would always, whenever I heard it, I was like, oh my God, sounds exactly like my aunt. I'm surprised they never made a Mrs. Doubtfire too. It was that time of the 90s where you just thought, they're totally going to make a Mrs. Doubtfire too. This is too big of a hit. And I wonder if Robin Williams was like, nope, one and done. Nanu, nanu, I'm out of here. Why did I even say nanu, nanu? What do you think about them making about a Joker 2? Why not? Let's do it. See what happens. I mean, he escapes, right? So where do we go from here? You know, it's just that I don't know if we're going to get the same quality of performance out of Joaquin. He just went so deep and dark into that character and, you know, lost all that weight and stuff. And, you know, if they do it and he gives us that same type of performance, I'll watch it. What's up, Mr. Captain Mike Sparrow? Good to see you. Mrs. Doubtfire on the Hunger Games. Oh, that's a good one. Will the secret stash be in Clerks 3? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know where the locations are going to be. The Joker and the Matrix. There we go. The talk about someone fucking shit up. That, like, so in a way, he would be the Mr. Smith, Agent Smith character, right? Wanting to, I guess, get the master code, so to speak, to run the entire Matrix. Or who knows? He might be the type that would just want to shut the whole thing down to not be beholden to anyone. And then, I don't know, try to rule all these free humans out of their pods. The OG Flash Gordon soundtrack was good. Queen. Yes, Dave. Such a great soundtrack. When everybody, we had said this earlier in the broadcast that whenever you hear the movie Flash, that's it. when you say, hey, I'm going to watch Flash Gordon, they don't think of the lines of the movie. What do you mean Flash Gordon approaches? Like, you don't remember that. You remember Flash. Yes, so did Heath Ledger. God rest his soul as well. So I'm down with Joaquin follow-up. There you go. You're down for it. Here's another one. The Joker versus Mrs. Doubtfire, round 1 fight. I think she would like scold him. Take off that makeup. You're not going to no parties. Where's the circus? Why do you have all the makeup? Why are you so serious? No, seriously. He would show up with the Joker makeup and she would show up with the icing on her face to cover up that she's a man, baby. You know you're in the Matrix when DC movies are great and the Marvel movies are crappy ones. All right. Okay. Deadpool in the Matrix. You know, isn't in a way Deadpool in the Matrix because he can't really die? So to him, I guess the real world would feel like the Matrix. Flash Gordon meets Buck Rogers in an AV TV show. I think they did. I think there was a mashup at one time. I still think David Tennant would make a great Riddler. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'd buy that. I could see him doing that. And Justice for All with Al Pacino in the Matrix. All right. It's so funny that we're all putting things against the Matrix. I want Jim Carrey or William Dafoe Joker. All right. All right. Interesting choices. I like how that's sounding. Joker doing the Randall dance in the sequel. Or Randall doing the Joker rant in the Clerk sequel. That would be interesting. Tennant was perfect in Kilgrave. Yep. Deborah Messing as the Joker. All right. All right, Joanna. You've started early or something. You're cut off. What? Peter Capaldi as Mr. Freeze. I could see that. He has that kind of cold chisel features to his body. I look forward to seeing him in the new Suicide Squad. He looks pretty cool in that one. Crispin Glover as the Joker. That would be completely creepy and bizarre because Crispin Glover in real life is creepy and bizarre. So if you give him a paid excuse to be creepy and bizarre, that's extra. That's creepy and bizarre with extra creepy and bizarre sauce added to it. I think you're onto something with that one. X-Force and Neo versus the entire DCEU. Interesting. I'm Batman. I am the Matrix. Okay. You're totally cut off. All right. I'm glad someone's keeping an eye on you. I think Crispin Glover could do an awesome Joker. I agree. We should get that trending. J-Ro looks wicked. Steve Miller Band playing the Joker in the Joker while having a card game, and he has a Joker. Jokers are wild. Or he's on the game show Joker's Wild. The Joker on Joker's Wild. Just kidding. That's a way to get the game show network tie-in to have them advertise the movie. Joker, Joker, Joker. It's a triple. I used to love that game show when I was a kid. Do you have any interest in being on Cameo? I've been approached by them a few times. I will be joining them as eventually, just not at this moment. So I'll just keep an eye on my social medias, and you'll be able to. Johnny Depp as Mr. Mixelplix. I think he's that weird that I think he could pull off Mr. Mixelplix. Crispy Joker. Joker's Wild was lit. Yes. Louis Slotnick from Revenge of the Nerds as Joker. Okay. Interesting. I'd need a screen test of that. I'd need to see a read of that. I'm not fully convinced. And this is an idiot talking. I don't know much, but that's the Louis Slotnick, unless you are Louis Slotnick, in which case, yes, you should. So I don't know. We'll see. So many things to consider. So one thing I'm going to watch this weekend, though, is this Friends reunion. For many different reasons. I was a fan of the show. I enjoy some of the actors from the show. I think the cast together is a great one of the great casts of sitcom history for so many people together. I don't think if that show came out nowadays it would do well. That's just me. Just because the premise would be like, what? There's no way y'all are being friends. No, ain't doing it. Not in New York City, in the same building. Ain't happening. But I want to see it. I want to see how those guys are. Some of the things I've seen on the internet already of, them reenacting certain scenes. It should be fun. Should be cute. So that's what I have on my weekend. No, you're no idiot, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. French Stewart as the Riddler. I love French Stewart. I think he's hilarious. I've seen him in completely not his type when you want to talk about typecasting roles, and he does great in. If he does I think he could pull off the Riddler. But if he slips into certain common techniques that he does with certain characters he plays, I'd be like, no, I've seen this already out of French Stewart. But it'd be interesting. It was a Botox reunion. Well, I guess. I could see you appearing on Friends. Yeah, I could too. But alas, it's canceled. I'd be the annoying Uber Eats guy who probably ate their food while delivering it. Bummer, none of the View Askew and Friends universes ever crossed. No, we never. None of the cast members were ever in any of the View Askew movies. And I'm trying to think of any of the other participants were part of the Friends world. I don't think so. I think you're right that none of them really crossed. Watched. Was really great. All right, I'll take your word on it. Gee, I wonder why they didn't have Paul Rudd host it. Maybe because it was being produced. I don't know. I mean, he's a good host. His carpool karaoke is awesome. So I guess he's a let's put it this way, he's a very friendly interviewer. He's not a gotcha kind of guy, and the show is not that type of show anyway. It was just a reunion thing, but we'll see. Have I seen A Quiet Place Part 2 yet? No, I haven't. That's another one that's going to be on my list. Crispin Glover would be way crazier as Calendar Man, or the Riddler will. All right. What do we got here? Whoa. When they do a revival episode of Charlton Hicks, the lost Hicks cousin should be in it. All right. Soup Nazi from Seinfeld as General Zod in Superman. All right. I can see that. Paul Rudd. I think she meant Rudd. Paul Rudd was making a movie. This was filmed in early April, and he wasn't available. Oh, look at you with the inside scoop. They didn't treat him well when he was on, apparently. Oh, wow. Johanna with the inside dirt. Will there be a Clerks 3? Yes. John Travolta, 86. And are you really the John Travolta? Because what are you doing with your plane these days? Just curious, John. By the way, I liked you in The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. That was a good movie. One of the few movies I like of yours. Yes, we are filming. Hopefully, we start filming in less than a month or just over a month. Right after 4th of July, we start filming. We shall see. Thank you for laughing, Mr. Traymock. So, folks, I'm going to call it a Friday night. I want to thank y'all for being a part of it. I hope y'all have your own great weekend lined up. If you get a chance, if you get a chance, go over to the Zenoscope folks channel. Zenoscope on Facebook, Zenoscope on Twitch, and Zenoscope on YouTube. Earlier today, we recorded our Flash Gordon episode. It's the monthly Zenoscope Movie Club. Myself, Marilyn Gigliotti, Crystal Star, Sunna Kuna Manaki, and our guest was Sam Jones, the Flash Gordon himself. Check it out. It was a fun show. A lot of good laughs. We talked about the movie as well. If you're looking to follow me on social media, there you go. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Brian C. O'HalloRANT. And on YouTube, it is The O'HalloRANT on YouTube. If you want to follow the show, here we go. Follow the show here. If you're already following on Facebook or YouTube or on Twitch, Brian C. O'HalloRANT on Twitch, otherwise the O'HalloRANT on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow along, like, subscribe. Would be mucho appreciated if you could. And there you have it, folks. If you get a chance, because I know over in the New York City area and all over now, they're giving away vaccines everywhere. Certain airports are giving away vaccines for free. Get the shot. Come on, man. You want to be part of the Matrix. Why don't you do it? All the cool people are doing it. No, seriously. It's for your own health. It's for our health. It's for everybody's health. So, and I'm fine. Nothing's happened to me yet. No, seriously. Otherwise, wash your hands. Wear the mask if you don't feel comfortable. Socially distance. I hope to see you guys in the not-too-distant future in person at a convention. I had a little taste of a group gathering this past weekend with the comedy set I did in Red Bank. A lot of fun. Once again, thanks to Mr. Chris Covert for asking me to be a part of that. The good folks over at the Elks Lodge in Red Bank. And also Ernie O'Donnell for his show On Our Own. I'll be having him on a guest here in the coming weeks to talk about that. And hopefully we can get that to be aired on some network or streaming service, hopefully by the fall or the beginning of the January kind of season. We'll see. That'll be up to him. But in the meantime, thank you for sharing your Friday evening with me, or at least a little bit of it. And be good to one another. We're all in this together. I appreciate you guys sticking out with me. And big thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. We'll see you hopefully next weekend in July. I don't know what my schedule. I may take July off because I'll be a little busy filming a movie. But we'll see. I mean, I'll have so many people that I could talk to there. So it might be the best shows. Who knows? Still don't know what we're going to do, but we'll see. But in the meantime, Enjoy your weekend, folks. Remember, it is Memorial Day weekend, so at least give a moment to think about those who have served our country, gave their lives for their country, the families who supported them and allowed us to have their men and women to support and defend the ideals that we hold true. So, to the men and women in the families of military soldiers out there doing everything they can for us, my thanks to you, and this weekend you will be not forgotten. Till then, we'll see you next time here on the O'HalloRANT. I love you all. Mwah. Thank you for being a part of the show. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't know, I'd be watching the Friends reunion right now? I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, thank you and peace.